And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Bombshell new details in an attack against rapper Zero, caught on video. Tonight, rapper Trae Tha Truth out of jail on a $100 bond. That's like two $50 bond, but rolled into one. The fellow rapper, known for philanthropy, has been charged with assault for the incident. According to Houston police, he's a man in the orange T-shirt in the attack video, which surfaced early September. Houstonians responded to that.
I think it's definitely disappointing. I mean, when you have somebody who's supposed to be a role model in the community and doing all these great things, then, potentially, kids are looking at him and looking to follow him.
One minute you talking something positive, but then you question against with another man, so it's on their character. They got to squash that to get it better so we can come right together as a community so we can look at them, continue the way that we have been looking at them as leaders.
So what do we do about this? Zero's attorney also wants to get a few things straight about the investigation. He did not push the case, or as many of you would say, Zero did not press the charges against Trae, according to his attorney. I had a one-on-one with Charles Big Angry Adams. Charles, you know how people are out in the public, and you hear their talk because you're on social media. The first thing many people will say is Zero went to the police and filed charges against Trae Tha Truth. That's not accurate.
No, it's not accurate. And first I'd like to say I think that the social media response has been kind of split in two camps, right? One, the camp is supporting Zero and thinking it's the appropriate decision to have some accountability for someone that committed a brazen crime while people were filming it and then decided to go on social media and misstate the facts. The other half, of course, are the horde of torch and pitchfork mob that just wants to attack anything. Mm-hmm. And they're saying ugly things like he's a snitch and he's that, the other. That's not the case. What occurred in this situation was HPD, actually, detectives went to my client's home while he was out of town and requested that he give a statement. They initiated this investigation solely based upon the social media posts, both by the defendant and the subsequent ones that refuted the defendant's statement. And I don't think this investigation would have ever occurred without his initial post. But this was not initiated by Zero. Zero did ultimately decide to give them the requested statement, but the decision to press charges and what charges to press were a decision made by the Houston Police Department and the Harris County District Attorney's Office.
And really quick, Charles, let's point out the fact. If you have a video out in the public where someone is committing a crime and law enforcement sees it, it is their responsibility to investigate.
Almost certainly,
just
right?
To ignore it. It's not just street business. Right. It's not just social media business. They're obligated as a state to investigate this crime that they see taking place in a video.
Right, and most certainly when you have high-profile people and a lot of media attention, that kind of shines a spotlight that doesn't always exist. But in the city of Houston, we can't just ignore criminality no matter who commits it. Right. And here, what I found the most shocking initially is that there were some officers, most certainly probably working extra employment or extra jobs as opposed to being on patrol, that viewed the commission of the crime and stood there and did nothing. Right. And this wasn't simply just an assault. If you watch the video carefully, you can see that my client's watch and a bracelet were both taken by members of the crew that attacked it. And I think what really brought the most attention to this was there was an opportunity to confront it and say, hey, this happened. It was a horrible thing, and I apologize. And instead it was, there's rumors that Zero was jumped by my crew, and that didn't occur. Well, then the video pops up, and in fact it did. But this wasn't Zero. This was Mr. McVeigh contacting HPD. HPD came to him. And ultimately, I don't think he would have ever even responded to the request from the Houston Police Department had Trae Tha Truth decided to accept his offer to resolve their dispute in a lawful and civil manner in a charity boxing match. I don't know if that offer still stands, but I know that Zero did pursue that as an effort to both raise money for charity and resolve what seems to be an animosity that the defendant has for my client. It's not a shared animosity. My client no longer wanted to be in business with him and no longer wanted to, create music with him, but he doesn't have any animosity. Even after this attack, he doesn't have any animosity, and he thinks what's best for the city and the hip hop community and the culture would be to rear view this after there's been an acceptance of responsibility for the misdeeds.
Now, at this point, Charles, when the Houston Police Department decides to hand over charges or ask for charges from the district attorney's office, it is now in the district attorney's hands.
Right.
Zero has no say unless he just decides not to cooperate as a witness, as a victim in this case.
Well, even more importantly, even when a victim doesn't cooperate, that doesn't force the state to dismiss charges. We see this most often in family violence cases where typically a woman has been assaulted by a man and then she decides that she doesn't want to participate in the prosecution. The state can still proceed on the case. It just obviously is far more difficult. The problem presented here for the defendants is all of this occurs on a video, at least the second half. And it's my understanding there are other videos that are still floating around that haven't gone public, but this assault occurs by multiple members of the defendant crew while Mr. McVeigh is on the ground merely trying to protect himself and not defending himself. I hope this doesn't result in anyone going to jail. I know there was a whole lot of social media hullabaloo of turning himself in for a non-arrest bond, but these are misdemeanor charges, right? And they're typically not charges that someone would go to jail for. I hope that there is an ability to, one, take ownership of the bad acts as opposed to making false statements, and then somehow bring these two men together and achieve a resolution, not just for the two of them, but for the city as well.
Now, Trae wasn't the only one charged here, right, Charles? There were other individuals charged with other charges as well.
And he's the only one that I know, obviously, and I don't know him personally. I just know him because he's a famous Houstonian. It's my understanding that his brother was also charged with misdemeanor assault. And then the person who is seen on the video, who I don't know who is seen on the video taking the watch and the bracelet, which ultimately were returned to my client about 3 to 4 days later, but seen taken. It's my understanding he's been charged with robbery. But again, none of these were requested charges made by my client. My client only agreed after being rebuffed at his attempt to resolve this with a charity boxing match. My client agreed to give a statement at the request of the Houston Police Department, and he gave that statement.
No statements have been released as of yet from Trae Tha Truth just yet. But
the shit, like that was kind of surprising to me. I'm like,
it wasn't to me.
Really? You knew that would be catnip for them?
Of course. I mean, of course, like, why other reason would you do it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's been like that before. Like, this shit is always like that, with certain people. And I mean, I understand for my own underlying reasons why. But I mean, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, people like that look for opportunities to do shit like that. And I mean, and when I have to think about it, like, yeah, it was an opportune moment for you. I'm by myself. And the thing that was different about this time is that you wasn't by yourself. I see you all the time.
Right.
And I see you, it's just you and me. Like, I might have a security if I'm doing a show. But I mean, what the fuck I'm gonna have a security for every day in my life?
Right.
Like, I don't need security. I don't do shit to people. So I've been seeing you all this motherfucking time. I see you giving a grill. I'm with Johnny Dang. We bringing a grill to Snoop Dogg. You right there in the lobby. It's just you and your kid. You see me walk in. I see you. Shit, I keep on talking to Johnny. I don't fuck with you.
Right.
And you don't fuck with me, so we ain't got shit to say to each other. Go around the corner. I see you everywhere. I'm by myself, you by yourself. I never catch or it's me and I saw him the night before. And it was like me, Lil Flip, a couple of young ladies that I know, my manager at the time, and whoever the fuck else. I'm about like 6 or 7 deep. He was over there about maybe 2 or 3 deep. So I mean, I'm 6 or 7 deep. Ain't nobody got nothing to say.
Right.
I see you when it's you by yourself and me by yourself, and me by myself. You ain't got nothing to say. Now you see me as you plus 3 and it's me by myself. Here we go.
Right.
So I mean, if you that type of dude, then you did the right thing. You ain't gonna do shit by yourself.
Right.
I don't know too many motherfuckers that's gonna do shit to me by themselves.
So I get the idea that you guys haven't really had a conversation or sort of squashed it. Yeah.
20. I mean, it wasn't nothing to squash.
Right.
It wasn't nothing to squash. I walk away from this situation because the situation ain't cool, and that was it. I ain't had to sit to say about this guy. For what? I mean, I'm getting my blessings are more abundant by myself. What am I mad for disassociating myself with you for? But I mean, you know, you always hear about shit getting said. You hear about, I mean, like it's some heavy shit that go on with that type of hate.
Right.
Like when you hate somebody that much, like you ain't gonna be able to focus.
That was one of the main sentiments that I saw in terms of how people were talking about it, is that people just seemed kind of disappointed to see somebody as legendary as that or whatever taking care of an issue in such a public way or whatever. Like that could have gone down a lot of other ways.
Yeah, or making the issue because it ain't no issue.
It shouldn't even been like that
making
in the
the
first
issue.
place.
I mean, like, yeah, you making the issue, I guess, for music. Then you lying about shit's not looking good on you. We didn't jump. Oh, nah, it was him. It was this. It was that. And then when all of the second video came out, because dude wanted to get the truth out there. Like it's a whole lot of shit that's going on with this type of story. And it's definitely on the, oh shit, there you go, get your phone ready type shit. I mean, you know, you ain't do that shit the night before when it was, you know, me and Lil Flip and whoever else it was with me, because we not giving a fuck about what you got going on. We here because 50 invited us here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we doing. We in here fucking around with 50 and the dude that played Tommy and the cast from Tommy's TV show. We enjoying ourselves, having drinks and shit. So I mean, you over here mad about what? Because I don't rap with you no more, or some shit like that, or because you keep saying shit about me behind my back and this shit getting to me. So you mad because I hear the shit that you saying about me. So I mean, like, nah, man. But nah, that had to go on like that, dealing with an individual like that.
Right.
Yeah, it had to.
He got his charges dismissed.
I mean, shit, he was going. Yeah, I mean, it's fighting. It's Texas. That shit $300.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you do some shit like that and see if you thinking like how I was thinking, because my mind working.
Right.
Hey, yeah, let's go over here so we can talk about this. Okay, cool. Come over here to talk about this. You get jumped. So the whole time I'm trying to get off the ground. I ain't know. I'm trying to get out the ground. I got my judge right here. So I'm a felon. I'm at a bar. I got some shit I'm not supposed to have at a bar as a felon. So what if I get off the ground and I
Very different story.
That shit is justifiable because I'm getting jumped. But I probably can't beat this shit. Why you got a gun up here?
Right.
Why you got a gun up here? And then you got them, all right, it's Texas. We gonna do this and we gonna record it. You just gave yourself a case. You put this shit up here for the DA to see. You put this shit up here because you want to try to embarrass me and send a narrative out that, nah, my little brother did this. So when the other guy was like, nah, he came through this bitch trying to tell us to delete what we had in our phones. And he didn't. He uploaded the shit and put out what really happened. So that changed the narrative of the story.
Right.
But like I said, I don't know too many people gonna really just do some shit one-on-one against me. So I mean, you right to get somebody to jump me.
Right.
Because by myself, I don't know if you're gonna make it.
I saw some people on Clubhouse and shit like that trying to give you a hard time about speaking about it to the news.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's your thoughts on that?
I don't have no thoughts on that. Like, I mean, shit, I'm speaking about it to the news because what he's lying and talking about on his, like, one thing about it, I'm gonna say what I need to say about a situation one time, and then I'm gonna let that shit be what it's gonna be after that. So when the shit came out that the altercation happened, a publicist at the time was like, "Hey, TMZ want to holler at you." So I told him like, yeah, the shit happened. So before the shit come out, y'all wondering, yeah, it did happen, but I'm gonna handle this shit in another type of way. I'm gonna be the bigger man. I left it alone. So people that was, and I talked to that dude the next day, like by around 10, 11 in the morning, he called back somebody that I knew, and we was all on the three-way. And, you know, we tried to lie and say some shit like, well, you know, man, you know how he is. He in the party cracking his knuckles and looking at us and like, man, Adam, let me tell you something. I do believe I'm a bad motherfucker, but him, I ain't gonna just come in here and just be like, hey, Adam, you and them. Let's go. I do know I'm a bad motherfucker, but I ain't Zero Lee, Joseph Chan or no shit like that. I'm finna fuck up one person. Getting jumped is getting jumped. So you really gonna try to sell this shit to my homie on the phone that I saw y'all and I charged 4 people and that I was drunk. Yeah, man, you know, motherfuckers be trying to create narratives so that, you know, they can make their side of the story look better.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, it's good. People got to say what they got to do to save face. But, I mean, nah, I'm not going looking for no motherfucking trouble. I've been fucking with 50 this whole weekend. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with him at the Toyota Center. Hey, come to Kim's Son tomorrow. I pull up at Kim's Son. I see the dudes in there the whole, like, I don't see them in there, but I text my homie and I told my homie. I say, hey man, I think these cats is in here. So he was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me know if you want me to pull up. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm cool. As soon as I walk out, you know, here they come. This is a plan.
Right.
So that's all that shit is.
Damn.
And I mean, it's good. I mean, I had to do whatever I do on the left side when I'm banging. I had to have some real shit like that. So I mean, that little bitch ass 7 to 6 seconds, whatever the fuck it was. I mean, I'm all right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the kind of stuff that, I mean, especially when you describe it that way, that you could have easily turned this whole situation into a very different type of situation, you know. I
mean, man, for the most part, if you ask me, motherfuckers don't like me because I don't want to rap with them. I think it's just some shit that's what it is underlying. It's supposed to be some family shit. I saw some family shit that wasn't family shit, and I removed myself from the family. That's all that shit is. Definitely. And I mean, I understand because I am a bad rapping motherfucker. I'm a bad motherfucker on that microphone.
Definitely.
So if I leave, you ain't finna replace me. I don't give a fuck who you gonna go get. But I mean, you know, shit, just like if I was trying to do some shit, like I'm not gonna be able to replace him.
Right.
So I understand your disdain for me. I don't give a fuck about it because away from you is this much money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go nowhere.
So that, you think that's a situation that'll never get patched up because you just have like a mutual disrespect for each other?
I mean, shit, would you patch it up? Because see, one thing about me,
once it gets physical like that, it's like a whole bigger hurdle to overcome, you know?
Yeah. And then, I mean, and the thing about it is, you done sold this sucker shit to people who don't even know me.
Right.
That's the whole part about it. You brainwashing people about me that probably would be all right with me or some shit. I would be all right with them. But I mean, you brainwashing people about me, and at the end of the day, it's just, I don't fuck with you. You don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. That's it. So I mean, hell nah, that shit ain't good. Ain't no amount of money. I don't give a fuck about no money. I don't need no money. And it's like, I wouldn't want no money with that type of sweat on it. I can't be like Pac said. I remember he said, man, when I look in the mirror, I got to see myself. I ain't finna just, you know what? Yeah, they did this shit here, but they offering $7 million. Man, fuck that $7 million. I'm gonna use that motherfucking $7 million to get some get back on your motherfucking ass or something like that. So nah, my best thing is to just stay the fuck away from you. Your best thing is to stay the fuck away from me.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.